we were doing a dinner party scene. At a later point in the scene, Mark was supposed to appear. And the minute he walked on the set, of that set, I was thinking to myself, I said, my God, he's in for trouble. Just the way he was carrying himself, you know? And it was just these slight little things that I realized that we kind of got something going here, you know? Because he didn't have to do anything, didn't have to say anything, and I knew right away he's going to get his ass kicked, you know? It was really pretty interesting. Just the way he walked around the table, carrying the tray. He was doing everything that he was supposed to do, but just not with the right attitude, you know? It's pretty remarkable. And starts to break out, at which point Bon and myself, who are the house humans, tell him that there's a curfew and they'll kill you if they see you out on the street at night. And he sort of tosses this line out to me about, if you stay here, you're dead anyway. It's kind of one of those lines that has a lot of resonance for my character through this whole journey, because he starts out as a really submissive and kind of a nothing, but at some point, once he makes that decision to go along, and I think it's really this difference in Leo's persona that attracts him, and he sees, a Christ-like figure, and goes with it. He's one of the apostles in that sense.
It's like everybody else. He's got on boots and some kind of burnt-up suit. He just doesn't look like us. You know he's come from somewhere else. So, here goes imagination. Here's a little bit of imagination. So you're thinking, okay, is this guy a spy? The apes planted here, to basically set our plans awry. So there's distrust at first, but when he has to escape Ape City, and Leo is there helping him to escape, he still doesn't fully trust him, but he really doesn't have any other choice. Either he stays and gets killed, or he just goes with this guy. And along the way, he really observes him and sees that he's different than most other humans, and he's hoping that where we're going to meet up with his comrades, there'll be more people like him, of course.
My husband played stage father, and he is the wise ape in this piece. He's the repository of the ape knowledge, of the ape lore, the ape folk material. He's the one who knows the history in a way that others don't, and some of that history is stuff that apes of today don't want to hear. He knows some things they don't want to hear, and he's going to kind of tell it to them and make them confront it. Especially his son. He maybe for the first time in his life, he's going to talk to his son, Thade, and he's going to tell him things that maybe Thade doesn't want to hear, and he's going to think, should I have told him this sooner? These are important things that I know, because about the history of the beginning of this planet and how we got here.
We're doing a scene where we find an ape effigy, and the humans are forbidden to cross this line of ape effigies, and they've been told that crossing that means it means certain death. And so that was a really important scene, because we crossed that line through the line of effigies, and all of our characters know that nothing will ever be the same again once we cross that line. And that was a really fun scene to do.
There's a kind of sexual tension. I mean, there's definitely a kind of love story between them. I guess I'm the love interest too. The girlfriend, but I'm a chimp. It's kind of, we haven't really sort of defined it, and I think it is sort of defies normal categories, as it would, because not many people do have relationships with chimpanzees. So, but there's a connection. I think they both look at each other and they see that they're equivalent from different planets. They're both youthful. They both sort of have the arrogance of youth, and they're both rebels, and they're both people who feel that they have a certain cockiness, but they have a compassion. And Mark's so sweet with me, actually, Warburg, anyway, because he's, it could be kind of disturbing and somewhat undermining as a woman to be dressed in, chimp makeup, but he's always smiling at me and makes me feel very attractive, which is really nice.
The most dangerous stunts we did was one of the first week or so of shooting. The whole group of our heroes
partly with the real ones and partly with stunt doubles, but with horses. We swam them all across a part of Lake Powell, which was, at the time was not much above freezing point. So we had to actually try and heat some of Lake Powell and put people in them, and the human characters really don't wear very much, so it was very difficult to do, very tough on the horses, very dangerous, because on one extreme the humans that aren't wearing much are freezing to death, and on the other extreme the doubles for like Carrie with the ape costume on would take on all the water, so they end up weighing about 500 pounds, dangerously obviously in water.
I mean, I remember how cold it was because we had to do this one shot where I was riding on the horses coming out of the water, and we were the horses were neck deep in the water, and Tim wanted a shot of one of the actors coming along on the horses, and this was a stunt. This was something that the stunt doubles were doing, and I'd grown up with riding horses, so Tim said, listen, can any of the actors do this? And the guy was saying, no, these are the horses they were training on, this is strictly stunt doubles. And then he goes, well, maybe she can. So I'm there on this horse, the horse is neck deep in this freezing cold water, my legs are in the water, which is just, I'm just sitting there going, oh, but the adrenaline's rushing.
It's pretty cold, but it's an amazing place. You really feel like you're on another planet when you're out there. It's weird because I've gotten beaten up more in this movie than I have every other movie that I've been in. Every movie I get beat up. That's the reason why I get cast, because I take a good beating. But this is the first time that I actually look forward to getting to the set, which is weird, So, I mean, I always enjoy making movies, but it's also tough to make them, and Tim's made it very easy on everybody.